a warm welcome to the Socialympics.
This is a journey that nobody knows quite how it's going to end up. There is no question that everybody's objective is to capture the hearts and minds of the next generation.
I mean, the interesting area for us has been through campaigns. So last year we launched the Torchbearer campaign. So that's the first significant Olympic campaign for Lloyds. And that was the first time we really used social media. And I think for us where social surprised me is where it interacts with it experiential. So we took the Olympic torch on a tour around the UK. 50,000 people came to see it. We took 20,000 photos of people on with the torch, which everyone wants to hold it, and 60% of those were then downloaded. That conversion rate of 50,000 people coming to see the torch down to 11,000, 12,000 people who actually downloaded the photo, I've personally not witnessed in any other sort of sales funnel, so to speak.
Right.
Probably the most impressive brand who is generating a huge amount of association, awareness and buzz around the Olympics is Nike. They're actually generating loads of debate and conversation, getting people to use the hashtag on Twitter, make it count, and crucially getting athletes right across the world using that hashtag. You have got hundreds of athletes associating their training program with the hashtag make it count, and I think on last count on their website they had 70,000 tweets using that hashtag. So when you compare that with Adidas's £100 million sponsorship of the games and what Nike paid, zero, you can see they're generating a huge amount of association.
I'm astonished how little I'm aware of sponsorship activation, given that you would think as an organisation at the very least we would be in the sights of...
Clearly with the exception of Synergy and Jab's clients, obviously.
Absolutely right.
Do you think that, in effect, that Twitter is sort of effectively going to be the de facto sort of official news service of the games in a way?
I think there's no question it will be. I mean, it's already, it's very interesting, look at something like Transfer Deadline Day, which Sky have invested an enormous amount in making their own. But I can't think of a single, I mean, it was a very quiet window, but the previous window, there was a single deal that wasn't first broken on Twitter, because it takes time to write a caption even for Sky and to get a camera to someone to repeat what they've heard, and there's no question I think Twitter will be the as you say, the de facto news service.
So when I look among my sort of athlete friends, you'll probably find 90% of them actually on Twitter now.
So we work with Chris Hoy, we work with Jonathan Edwards, Catherine Granger as an example, Mark Foster. The chances of those guys doing something inappropriate, I'd suggest, is quite small. The fact that they work with us, I don't think is a risk to our brand. And it's all about content, isn't it? And this word engagement, and it's the behaviour of tweeting in itself is not wrong. Like anything, it is what you say in the tweet. And if it is interesting and engaging, then fantastic.
We need to start to see more of athletes' lives. I mean, I always say, give me a video camera, I'll take it on the athletic circuit, and I guarantee you'll have 5 million people watching it.
There's this awful catch-22 that we don't ultimately have a sanction that we can employ, particularly against the high-profile athletes. So if Chris Hoy went out and started promoting a personal sponsor, it's in breach of Rule 40 in the IOC Charter. What are we going to do? Drop him from the team? We're going to remove his accreditation? I don't think so.
The Olympic movement, I think, is allergic to controversy. It really is an ivory tower in many respects, and it needs to get rid of that. Look at the Premier League is a monster. One of the reasons it's a huge success is they are not frightened of controversy.
The magic of the Olympics is that it is something of an ivory tower. I actually think it stands apart from other competitions and other opportunities for partners to be associated with it for exactly that reason.
Steve Ovett was fabulously outspoken about Seb. It was one of the things that sustained that as an incredible rivalry that people followed for a very long time. If Ovett and co were competing today and had to stick to these guidelines, Ovett would never have said a word.
The core values of what Olympism is about, you talked about it being a bit sort of hackneyed and a bit old-fashioned. I disagree. I think that they're core values of humanity, and I think that there is a danger that if scandal overtakes the Olympics, it ruins the brand.
The one area the panel has not really touched on is the relationship of social media to the rights holders.
I never fail to be surprised or struck by how much of the traffic on Twitter is basically driven by old media. It's driven by television. Television is still the daddy.
The TV's going to change because you'll have smart TVs where you'll be watching it and commenting at the same time. You'll be knowing what your friends are watching and who likes what, and it will still be that kind of that mesh up of what's going on in the digital world and what's being broadcasted to you. And I think absolutely there's a role for television. It's not going anywhere, but the way in which we watch it is changing very, very quickly, I think.
Okay, thank you. On that note, I think we should wrap up. I suspect we could probably spend another 2 or 3 hours in here talking about what is a fascinating area. So, ladies and gentlemen, your panel.